The snowmobile swept surely into the first half of an S-curve that he now remembered confidently foot for foot. And that was when the headlamp picked out the, oh dear Jesus God, what is it, in the road ahead of him. Limned in stark blacks and whites, Halloran first thought it was some hideously huge timber wolf that had been driven down from the high country by the storm. Then, as he closed on it, he recognized it, and horror closed his throat. Not a wolf, but a lion. A hedge lion. Its features were a mask of black shadow and powdered snow, its haunches wound tight to spring. And it did spring, snow billowing around its pistoning rear legs in a silent burst of crystal glitter. Halloran screamed and twisted the handlebars hard right, ducking low at the same time. Scratching, ripping pain scrawled itself across his face, his neck, his shoulders. The ski mask was torn open down the back. He was hurled from the snowmobile. He hit the snow, plowed through it, rolled over. He could feel it coming for him. In his nostrils there was a bitter smell of green leaves and holly. A huge hedge paw batted him in the small of the back, and he flew 10 feet through the air, splayed out like a rag doll. He saw the snowmobile, riderless, strike the embankment and rear up, its headlamp searching the sky. It fell over with a thump and stalled. Then the hedge lion was on him. There was a crackling, rustling sound. Something raked across the front of the parka, shredding it. It might have been stiff twigs, but Halloran knew it was claws. "You're not there!" Halloran screamed at the circling, snarling hedge lion. "You're not there at all!" He struggled to his feet and made it halfway to the snowmobile before the lion lunged, batting him across the head with a needle-tipped paw. Halloran saw silent, exploding lights. "Not there," he said again, but it was a fading mutter. His knees unhinged and dropped him into the snow. He crawled for the snowmobile, the right side of his face a scarf of blood. The lion struck him again, rolling him onto his back like a turtle. It roared playfully. Halloran struggled to reach the snowmobile. What he needed was there. And then the lion was on him again, ripping and clawing. Halloran reached the overturned snowmobile just as, a mile and a half away, Wendy was pulling herself around the corner and into the short hallway leading to the caretaker's apartment. It wasn't the snowmobile he wanted, but the gas can, held on to the back by a pair of elastic straps. His hands, still clad in Howard Cottrell's blue mittens, seized the top strap and pulled it free as the hedge lion roared behind him, a sound that seemed to be more in his head than outside of it. A hard, brambly slap to his left leg, making the knee sing with pain as it was driven in a way the joint had never been expected to bend. A groan escaped Halloran's clenched teeth. It would come for the kill any time now, tired of playing with him. He fumbled for the second strap. Sticky blood ran in his eyes. Slap. That one raked across his buttocks, almost tumbling him over and away from the snowmobile again. He held on, no exaggeration, for dear life. Then he had freed the second strap. He clutched the gas can to him as the lion struck again, rolling him over on his back. He saw it again, only a shadow in the darkness and falling snow, as nightmarish as a moving gargoyle. Halloran twisted at the can's cap as the moving shadow stalked him, kicking up snow puffs. As it moved in again, the cap spun free, releasing the pungent smell of the gasoline. Halloran gained his knees, and as it came at him, low-slung and incredibly quick, he splashed it with the gas. There was a hissing, spitting sound, and it drew back. "Gas!" Halloran cried, his voice shrill and breaking. "Gonna burn you, baby! Dig on it a while!" The lion came at him again, still spitting angrily. Halloran splashed it again, but this time the lion didn't give. It charged ahead. Halloran sensed rather than saw its head angling at his face, and he threw himself backward, partially avoiding it. Yet the lion still hit his upper rib cage a glancing blow, and a flare of pain struck there. Gas gurgled out of the can which he still held, and doused his right hand and arm, cold as death. Now he lay on his back in a snow angel, to the right of the snowmobile by about 10 paces. The hissing lion was a bulking presence to his left, closing in again. Halloran thought he could see its tail twitching. He yanked Cottrell's mitten off his right hand, tasting sodden wool and gasoline. He ripped up the hem of the parka and jammed his hand into his pants pocket. Down in there, along with his keys and his change, was a very battered old Zippo lighter. He had bought it in Germany in 1954. Once the hinge had broken, and he had returned it to the Zippo factory, and they had repaired it without charge, just as advertised. A nightmare flood of thoughts flooding through his mind in a split second. Dear Zippo, my lighter was swallowed by a crocodile, dropped from an airplane, lost in the Pacific Trench, saved me from a kraut bullet in the Battle of the Bulge. Dear Zippo, if this fucker doesn't go, that lion is going to rip my head off. The lighter was out. He clicked the hood back. The lion, rushing at him, a growl like ripping cloth, his finger flicking the striker wheel, spark, flame, my hand. His gasoline-soaked hand, suddenly ablaze, the flames running up the sleeve of the parka. No pain yet, the lion shying from the torch, suddenly blazing in front of it, a hideous, flickering hedge sculpture with eyes and a mouth, shying away, too late. Wincing at the pain, Halloran drove his blazing arm into its stiff and scratchy side. In an instant, the whole creature was in flames, a prancing, writhing pyre on the snow. It bellowed in rage and pain, seeming to chase its flaming tail as it zigzagged away from Halloran. He thrust his own arm deep into the snow, killing the flames, unable to take his eyes from the hedge lion's death agonies for a moment. Then, gasping, he got to his feet. The arm of Durkin's parka was sooty but unburned, and that also described his hand. 30 yards downhill from where he stood, the hedge lion had turned into a fireball. Sparks flew at the sky and were viciously snatched away by the wind. For a moment its ribs and skull were etched in orange flame, and then it seemed to collapse, disintegrate, and fall into separate, burning piles. Never mind it. Get moving.